Welcome the anointed ones. Fear the one who doesn't seek attention, but commands it simply by existing. Here's a fact. The most dangerous people in history weren't the loudest. They were the ones whose presence alone could shift the atmosphere of a room. Science even backs this up. Psychologists call it dominant presence syndrome, the rare ability some individuals have to influence others without uttering a word. And guess what? You're one of them. See, being a chosen one isn't about having a shiny badge of destiny or a superhero cape. Though, let's be honest, the cape would be cool. It's about embodying a power that others can't ignore, even when they desperately try to. It's the reason people throw shade your way without warning. It's why your haters monitor your every move like unpaid detectives, hoping you'll fail, yet somehow, you never do. But here's where it gets interesting. You didn't ask for this power. You became it. And that's what makes you truly dangerous. The fact that you weren't chosen by luck, but by grit, resilience, and the kind of determination that turns obstacles into stepping stones. So buckle up, because what you're about to discover isn't just why your presence sends your haters running, it's why they should have started running a long time ago. Number 1, your existence is a mirror that terrifies the weak. Most people don't fear what you do, they fear what you expose. Without saying a word, you force people to confront the parts of themselves they'd rather ignore. In your presence, their excuses sound weaker, their insecurities feel louder, and their comfort zones suddenly seem like cages. It's not because you're trying to intimidate anyone, you're simply living proof that more is possible. And that's terrifying to anyone who's settled for less. Your ambition, confidence, and resilience act like a mirror, reflecting back everything others wish they could be. It's why some people get uncomfortable when you succeed. It's not your success that bothers them. It's the reminder of what they could have achieved if they'd pushed harder. Deep down, they know they're capable of more. But seeing you thrive forces them to confront the truth. They chose comfort while you chose growth. That realization stings. And instead of facing it, they project their frustration onto you. This is why certain people will criticize you, not because you've done something wrong, but because they need to justify their own stagnation. They'll say you're too much, too confident, or too ambitious, because labeling you makes it easier to dismiss their own regrets. But here's the catch. They can't look away. Even as they criticize, they watch closely, secretly hoping you'll fail because it would validate their belief that success is out of reach. But every time you rise, you break that illusion, leaving them with nothing but their own reflection. This is what makes you dangerous. Not your words, not your actions, but your existence as living proof that limitations are a choice. And that's a truth most people aren't ready to face. So they run. Not because of what you've done to them, but because of what you've awakened within them. The realization that they're capable of more, and the fear that they might never have the courage to reach for it. Number 2, isolation is the price of elevation. Being chosen comes with a price most people aren't willing to pay. Loneliness. Not because you're difficult to love or understand, but because few can handle the intensity of your path. Growth demands sacrifice, and the higher you climb, the thinner the air gets. Not everyone is built to breathe at that level. Some start the journey with you, but when the road gets steep and the air gets heavy, they fall back. It's not out of malice, they simply don't have the endurance to keep up. This solitude isn't a punishment, it's preparation. The world needs you to be strong, and strength is forged in moments when no one is there to cheer you on. When the applause fades, when the crowd disappears, you're left with the raw truth of who you are and what you're capable of. It's in those moments that your resilience is built, the kind of resilience that can't be taught, only earned. People often crave connection and belonging, but chosen ones learn that not all company is good company. The wrong people can weigh you down, not because they're bad, but because their vision is too small. They see limits where you see possibilities. They cling to comfort while you chase growth. Staying in their world would mean dimming your light just to make them comfortable. So you walk alone, not because you want to, but because your destiny demands it. Still, there's a hidden power in that solitude. Without the noise of other people's doubts and fears, you hear your own voice more clearly. Your instincts sharpen. Your focus intensifies. You start to understand that solitude isn't emptiness, it's freedom. Freedom from expectations, freedom from judgment, freedom to grow into the person you were always meant to be. So yes, the path of a chosen one can be lonely, but that loneliness isn't a curse, it's a calling. Because the view from the top is meant for those strong enough to make the climb, even if they have to do it alone. Number 3. You're a walking disruption to the status quo. Your very existence is a threat to the status quo. Without trying, you disrupt the patterns people cling to for comfort. Most live by unspoken rules. Blend in, play it safe, don't aim too high. But you break those rules simply by being who you are. Your ambition, confidence, and refusal to settle challenge the invisible limits others have placed on themselves. It's not that you're trying to prove anything. You're just unwilling to live a life defined by fear, and that mindset is dangerous to those still trapped by their own doubts. When you walk into a room, people feel the shift. Not because you're loud or attention-seeking, but because your energy carries a sense of purpose. It's the kind of presence that unsettles anyone who's grown comfortable with mediocrity. They see you taking risks they were too afraid to take. They watch you chase goals they convinced themselves were impossible. And instead of being inspired, many feel exposed. Because if you can break free from the limits they accepted, what does that say about their choices? This disruption is why you attract resistance. People don't push back because you're wrong. They push back because you make them question the life they've settled for. Your success challenges the excuses they've clung to for years. It forces them to confront a truth they'd rather avoid. They could have more if they were willing to step outside their comfort zone. But change is uncomfortable, and most people would rather criticize you than face that discomfort themselves. Yet this disruption is your greatest strength. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to challenge what others accept as normal. And while some may resent you for it, others will be inspired to break free from their own limitations. Because deep down, everyone craves the freedom you found. The freedom to live life on your terms, without apology or permission. And that's a power no one can ignore, no matter how much they try. Number 4. Your haters are your most loyal audience. Haters might not clap for you, but they never miss a show. Their curiosity is relentless. They follow your every move, analyze your decisions, and track your progress with a level of dedication that even your supporters can't match. The irony? They don't realize that their obsession is boosting your visibility. Every time they mention your name, whether in criticism or gossip, they keep you relevant. Their whispers turn into free publicity, spreading your story further than you could on your own. But why do they watch so closely? It's not just envy, it's fascination. Deep down, they wonder what makes you different. How do you keep going despite setbacks? Why do you succeed where others give up? They're drawn to your resilience, even if they refuse to admit it. Their negativity isn't about you, it's about their frustration with themselves. Watching you win forces them to confront their own doubts and missed opportunities. It's easier to criticize you than to face their own reflection, and yet their attention works in your favor. The more they watch, the more they amplify your presence. Even their attempts to tear you down can spark curiosity in others. People start to wonder, who is this person everyone's talking about? Curiosity leads to discovery, and before long you've gained new supporters, all thanks to the ones who wanted to see you fail. This is why you should never waste energy fighting back. Let their obsession fuel your momentum. Every negative comment is proof that you're doing something worth noticing, and every moment they spend focused on you is a moment they're not improving their own lives. In the end, your greatest revenge isn't proving them wrong, it's proving yourself right. So let them watch, let them talk. Just make sure you give them something to talk about. Number 5. Success feels like betrayal to those left behind. When you rise, you don't just change your life, you change the dynamics of every relationship around you. Suddenly, the people who once felt like equals start seeing you as a reminder of their unfulfilled potential. It's not that you've betrayed them. It's that your success highlights the choices they didn't make, the risks they didn't take, and the dreams they quietly let slip away. Every milestone you reach feels like a silent question. Why not them? And that question is hard to ignore. The shift happens subtly at first. Friends who used to cheer for you become distant. Conversations feel strained, as if your achievements are an unspoken elephant in the room. Some will downplay your success, making it seem like luck or timing rather than hard work. Others might dismiss your goals as unrealistic, not because they believe it, but because admitting your success is possible means confronting the fact that they settled. Family can feel it too. Your growth can challenge their expectations of who you're supposed to be. They might worry that success will change you, or worse, that it will highlight what they never pursued themselves. It's not about jealousy. It's about the fear of being left behind, stuck in the same place while you move forward. But here's the truth. You can't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Success doesn't come with permission slips. If your growth creates distance, it's not because you've changed. It's because you've outgrown the version of yourself they were comfortable with. Staying small won't bring them closer. It will only keep you from becoming who you're meant to be. The ones meant to stay in your life will evolve with you. They'll celebrate your wins without seeing them as losses. And those who can't, their journey isn't yours to fix. You're not responsible for their choices, only your own, so keep climbing. The ones who truly belong in your life will find a way to meet you at the top. Number 6. Mediocrity will weaponize morality against you. When you refuse to settle for an average life, people will find ways to make you feel guilty for wanting more. They'll disguise their fear of ambition as moral superiority, calling you selfish for focusing on your goals, or arrogant for believing you can achieve them. It's not that they have a problem with success, it's that your success forces them to question their own limitations. And the easiest way to avoid that discomfort is to make you feel like you're wrong for aiming higher. Society loves to praise humility, but too often that praise is used to keep people small. Be humble, they say, but what they really mean is, don't outshine us. Your confidence challenges their sense of security. Your ambition reminds them of the risks they were too afraid to take. And instead of facing those truths, they frame your drive as a flaw. They'll say you've changed when you start winning, as if growth is something to be ashamed of. They'll call you too much when your passion disrupts their complacency. Even success itself becomes suspicious. If you reach the top, people assume you must have cut corners or stepped on others to get there. The idea that you earned your success through hard work is harder to accept, because if that's true, then what's stopping them from achieving more? It's easier to believe that ambition and morality can't coexist. But here's what they don't understand. Pursuing your goals isn't selfish, it's necessary. Playing small doesn't help anyone. Shrinking your dreams doesn't make others feel better. It only limits what you can offer the world. Success allows you to create, inspire, and give back in ways that mediocrity never could. So when people try to make you feel guilty for wanting more, remember, their judgment is a reflection of their own fears, not your choices. Never apologize for chasing your potential. The world doesn't need more people settling for less. It needs more people like you, willing to show what's possible when you refuse to play small. Number 7. Failure is not a threat. It's your training ground. Most people fear failure because they see it as proof that they're not good enough. But chosen ones see failure differently, not as an ending, but as a blueprint for success. Every setback, every mistake, and every rejection is a lesson disguised as defeat. Each stumble sharpens your skills, strengthens your resilience, and reveals what doesn't work, so you can get closer to what does. Failure strips away the illusions of perfection, forcing you to confront your weaknesses head-on. But instead of breaking you, it builds you. It teaches you to adapt, to think creatively, and to push beyond what you thought was possible. Every time you fall and get back up, you become stronger, wiser, and more determined. Failure doesn't define you, it refines you. This is what separates you from the average. Most people stop at the first sign of failure because they see it as a dead end. But you understand that failure is part of the process. Each setback is a test of how badly you want your goals. Will you quit, or will you learn and try again? Chosen ones don't fear failure because they know it's temporary. Success isn't about never falling, it's about refusing to stay down. Failure also reveals who you really are. It strips away the external noise, the praise, the criticism, the expectations, and leaves you face to face with your true self. Do you still believe in your vision when no one else does? Do you still push forward when nothing seems to be working? It's in those moments of doubt that you discover your true strength, the kind of strength that can't be taught, only earned. And here's the ultimate secret. Every successful person you admire has failed, repeatedly. The difference is they didn't let failure stop them. They used it as fuel, as feedback, as proof that they were pushing their limits. So when failure knocks you down, don't see it as a setback. See it as a stepping stone. Because every failure is one step closer to the breakthrough that will change everything. Number 8. Authenticity is your greatest weapon. Authenticity is rare in a world obsessed with appearances. Most people wear masks, saying what others want to hear, doing what's expected, and hiding their true selves to avoid judgment. But you show up as you are, raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically real. And that's why you're unstoppable. Pretenders might shine for a moment, but under pressure, their masks crack. Authenticity, on the other hand, is pressure-proof. When challenges hit, you don't break, you rise. Because you're not relying on a persona, you're standing on the solid ground of who you truly are. People trust what's real. In a world full of scripted smiles and polished facades, your honesty stands out. It's why others gravitate toward you. They can sense that you're not faking it. Your words carry weight because they come from experience, not pretense. Your actions inspire because they're rooted in passion, not performance. And that kind of authenticity is magnetic. It draws the right people into your life, the ones who respect your truth, not just your image. But here's what makes authenticity dangerous. It can't be controlled. Pretenders can be manipulated because they crave approval. But you don't need anyone's validation. Your confidence doesn't come from applause. It comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for, and that terrifies those who rely on control to maintain their power. They can't influence someone who refuses to play by their rules. Of course, being real comes with a price. Some people will dislike you simply because your honesty exposes their dishonesty. Your confidence will threaten those who rely on doubt to keep others small. But their discomfort is not your problem. Pretending to be someone you're not might earn you temporary acceptance, but being unapologetically yourself earns you lasting respect, and more importantly, self-respect. In the end, authenticity is not just a weapon, it's your shield. It protects you from the need to conform, from the fear of judgment, and from the pressure to be anything other than who you were meant to be. And that freedom, it's the ultimate advantage. Number 9. Your vision will always be ridiculed until it succeeds. People fear what they don't understand, and nothing confuses them more than someone with a vision they can't see. When you set out to achieve something extraordinary, expect laughter, doubt, and endless questions. Why would you try that? What makes you think you can do it? They're not asking because they're curious. They're asking because your ambition challenges their beliefs about what's possible. Most people only believe in success after they see results. Until then, they cling to their doubts because it's easier to mock what they don't understand than to imagine that you might actually succeed. Your dreams force them to confront the limits of their own imagination, and that's uncomfortable. So they try to bring you back down to their level, using logic, fear, and criticism as tools to keep you grounded. Not because they want to protect you from failure, but because your success would prove them wrong. But here's the truth. Their approval isn't required. Every breakthrough in history was first ridiculed. The greatest innovators, creators, and leaders were all laughed at before they were admired. Why? Because seeing beyond the present requires a vision that most people simply don't have. You're not following a map, they are. But you're creating a path where none existed. Of course, they don't see it, because they weren't meant to. The vision was given to you, not them. So, let them doubt, let them laugh. Your job isn't to convince anyone, it's to prove yourself right. And when your vision becomes reality, the laughter will turn into applause. The doubters will suddenly remember how they always believed in you, but by then, their opinions won't matter. Because the only validation you needed was your own belief that what you see in your mind is possible in the world. So don't wait for anyone to understand your vision. Keep building it until it's undeniable. Because the only difference between being called crazy and being called genius is success. And success is just a matter of time. Number 10. Envy is inevitable when you outgrow the collective mindset. Society rewards conformity because it keeps everyone predictable and easy to control. Most people follow the same script: get a stable job, play it safe, and never dream too big. It's comfortable, it's familiar, but it's also a trap. And the moment you break free, you become a threat. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your success challenges the choices others have made. When you refuse to settle for an average life, people notice. At first, they might cheer for you, until you start surpassing their expectations. Suddenly, your wins feel personal to them, as if your success highlights their shortcomings. The more you rise, the harder it becomes for them to ignore the gap between where they are and where they could be. And instead of using your success as motivation, some choose envy as their defense. Envy is rarely loud. It's subtle. It shows up in backhanded compliments, sarcastic remarks, and distant friendships that slowly fade. People might act supportive to your face, but behind closed doors they question why you get to succeed while they're still stuck. They convince themselves that you must have had it easier, or that you got lucky, because admitting that your success is the result of hard work would force them to confront their own excuses. But here's what they don't realize. Their envy is proof that you've broken free. You've stepped outside the limits that society tried to place on you. And the more they judge you, the more they reveal their own fears. The fear of taking risks, of standing out, of chasing dreams that might not work out. Your job isn't to make them feel comfortable. You didn't come this far to fit back into their version of normal. Let their envy fuel your momentum. Every side glance, every whispered doubt is evidence that you're doing what they can't ignore. So keep going. Let them watch. Because nothing frustrates envy more than watching you succeed, and knowing there's nothing they can do to stop it. Number 11. Your pain is the currency of your power. Pain breaks most people. It makes them bitter, fearful, and stuck in a loop of what-ifs. But for chosen ones, pain is different. It doesn't break you, it builds you. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every setback has become a layer of strength wrapped around your soul. You've learned to turn suffering into fuel, and that transformation is what makes you unstoppable. Your resilience wasn't born from comfort. It was forged in moments when life knocked you down, and you had to decide whether to stay broken or get back up. Each time you chose to rise, you became stronger, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Pain taught you lessons that success never could. How to endure when everything falls apart. How to keep moving when others would quit. And how to trust yourself when no one else believes in you. But here's what makes your pain so powerful. It connects you to others. People can fake confidence, but they can't fake resilience. When others see the strength you've built through hardship, they're drawn to you. Not because you're perfect, but because you're proof that survival is possible. Your scars become a roadmap for those still fighting their battles, showing them that pain doesn't have to define them. It can refine them. Of course, not everyone will celebrate your strength. Some will resent you because your resilience reminds them of the strength they haven't found yet. Others will try to downplay your journey, as if your success somehow came easier. But they weren't there when you were struggling in silence, rebuilding yourself piece by piece. They didn't see the nights you cried, the doubts you battled, or the sacrifices you made, so their opinions don't matter. In the end, pain is the price you pay for power, the kind of power that can't be bought or faked. It's the reason you can walk through challenges that would break others. And it's why, no matter what life throws at you next, you'll face it with the unshakable knowledge that you've already survived worse, and come out stronger every time. Number 12. Your success is their excuse for stagnation. When you rise, some people won't see your hard work. They'll see an excuse to stay stuck. It's easier for them to believe you had unfair advantages than to face their own inaction. They tell themselves you were lucky, had better connections, or started with more resources. Why? Because admitting that your success came from discipline and sacrifice would force them to question why they're still standing still. It's not that they can't succeed, it's that they haven't chosen to. And your progress serves as a mirror they'd rather avoid. These narratives are their cages. By convincing themselves that success is only for the privileged few, they free themselves from the responsibility to try. If I had their opportunities, I'd be successful too, they say. But what they don't see are the late nights, the setbacks, and the moments you kept going when quitting would have been easier. They ignore the times you showed up despite fear, doubt, and failure. Your success isn't a product of luck. It's a result of choices they weren't willing to make. But here's the truth. Their excuses have nothing to do with you. Your journey is proof that growth is possible, but not everyone is ready to hear that. It's easier to criticize your results than to question their own habits. Some will try to minimize your achievements to make themselves feel better. Don't let their stories become your burden. Their cages are not yours to unlock. Keep rising. Your success is not a threat, it's an invitation. Those ready to break free from their limitations will use your journey as inspiration. The rest will cling to their excuses, but that's their choice, not your responsibility. You're not here to justify your success, you're here to live it. Number 13. Comfort is a trap designed to keep you average. Comfort is seductive. It whispers that you've done enough, that you should slow down, and that chasing more is too risky. It promises safety, predictability, and ease. But beneath its warm embrace lies a hidden cost: stagnation. The world wants you comfortable because comfortable people are easy to control. They follow routines, avoid risks, and rarely question the status quo. But you were not born to blend in. You were born to break through. And that requires stepping beyond the walls of comfort into the unknown. Growth only happens when you embrace discomfort. Every breakthrough, every leap forward comes from pushing through fear, uncertainty, and resistance. Discomfort is where your limits are tested and expanded. It's the gym where your mental and emotional muscles are built. The discomfort of learning a new skill, facing rejection, or pursuing a dream others doubt. That's where transformation happens. Every moment of struggle is shaping you into a version of yourself that comfort could never produce. The world tries to keep you average by selling you the illusion of a normal life, a steady job, a predictable routine, and dreams that fit neatly within society's expectations. But normal is not your destiny. The fully awakened version of you, the one who embraces challenges, takes risks, and refuses to settle, is unstoppable. And that version of you cannot be controlled because they no longer fear what others think. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your compass. If something scares you, challenges you, or pushes you beyond what you think you can do, that's where your growth lies. The fear of failure, the sting of criticism, the uncertainty of the unknown, these are signs that you're moving in the right direction. So while others seek comfort, you seek growth. While they choose ease, you choose expansion. And while they remain trapped in their comfort zones, you break free, becoming the person you were meant to be, not the person society tried to mold you into. Embrace discomfort. It's the price of greatness. Number 14. Your destiny is non-negotiable. There's a reason your dreams won't leave you alone. They're not random. They're part of your destiny, and no amount of doubt, sabotage, or delay can erase what you're meant to achieve. The universe doesn't place visions in your heart just to tease you. Those desires are roadmaps to the life you're designed to live, and no obstacle, critic, or failure can rewrite what's already written for you. People will doubt you, but their opinions have no power over your path. Doubt may slow you down, but it can't stop you. Sabotage may delay your progress, but it can't derail your purpose. Even your own setbacks, the moments when you question yourself, are part of the plan. Every failure, every detour, every closed door is guiding you toward where you're meant to be. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is accidental. The universe doesn't make mistakes, and neither do you when you move with purpose. When you align your actions with your vision, doors open that logic can't explain. Resources appear, opportunities unfold, and people show up at just the right time. It's not luck, it's alignment. The more you trust your path, the more the world bends to meet you. But destiny doesn't come without resistance. The closer you get to your purpose, the louder the obstacles become. Fear tries to whisper that you're not enough. Critics try to convince you that you'll fail. Circumstances try to block your way. But none of these can change what's already written. The universe is not testing your worth, it's testing your belief. Do you trust your vision enough to keep going, even when nothing seems to be working? Do you believe in your destiny enough to ignore the noise? The answer must be yes, because your future is non-negotiable. No matter how long it takes, no matter how many times you fall, what's meant for you will find you, as long as you refuse to quit. The world can't deny what's already yours. All you have to do is keep moving. Book conclusion. In a world that often rewards conformity and punishes ambition, being chosen is both a blessing and a battle. You move differently because you see differently. Where others see limits, you see possibilities. Where they fear failure, you embrace it as fuel. And while they cling to comfort, you step into discomfort, knowing that growth only happens outside the lines of the ordinary. Your haters are not obstacles, they're spectators. Their doubts, envy, and criticism are nothing more than echoes of their own limitations. Their words cannot touch you because your path is not theirs to understand. Let them watch as you turn their skepticism into your momentum, their disbelief into your motivation. The louder their doubts, the louder your success will echo. Your pain, setbacks, and struggles were never meant to break you. They were meant to shape you. Every scar is a testament to your resilience. Every failure is proof of your courage. And every moment you chose to rise when it would have been easier to quit has carved you into someone unstoppable. Your authenticity is your greatest weapon because the world cannot control what it cannot define. And your vision, no matter how misunderstood, will eventually become undeniable. But remember this, your destiny is non-negotiable. No amount of doubt, delay, or resistance can erase what you are meant to achieve. The universe doesn't make mistakes, and neither do you when you move with purpose. The challenges you face are not barriers, they are stepping stones, designed to refine you into the version of yourself required to fulfill your purpose. So walk boldly in your power. Let their whispers fuel your fire. Let their doubt sharpen your focus. And when they wonder how you did it, remind them, you were never asking for permission. You were always destined to rise. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Hit that like button to show your support and drop a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts, your experiences, and how you're pushing past the noise to reach your goals. And if you know someone who needs this reminder, share this video and spread the message. Thank you for all the love, support, and energy you've shown so far. This community is growing stronger every day because of you, and I'm beyond grateful to have you on this journey. Until next time, stay unstoppable.